Greetings, students. I hope you are having an awesome day. Remember, the first 15 minutes of class, we work on Moby Max. So once you get to this web page, you will hit sign in. And if you get to this, remember to type in Charles City, just like I am, and click find. And then click the first one, the one that says Iowa. And then you will use the username and password that I gave you. If you don't remember, check your folder or your Chromebook and see if you still have the green sheet with that information. If you're having a hard time getting logged in and it's not working, check that the school says Charles City Middle School. Once you're signed in, you can complete the daily challenge if you want and earn some more game time. Otherwise, click the second tab and make sure you do the language lesson for today. If you've earned game time, you will go to the fourth tab and click Games. We have been reading different kinds of text out loud to help you get ideas for writing. We've heard a fractured fairy tale, we've read some fantasy stories about storybook characters leaping from the pages, and we also heard a story about an imagined fantasy machines, and we came up with some of our own fantasy machines that we could write about. So in our classroom, I will have a chart with different types of stories that you could write. If you want to add the different types of stories that you could use, you can add this in your notebook as well. But just know that it will be hanging in our classroom. So today we have another read aloud, and it is called Bedhead. And as you hear this story, I want you to think about what is funny, and I want you to think about where the author might have gotten the idea for the story.
Shuffle, slump, shuffle, slump, shuffle, slump. Slumped bleary-eyed Oliver out of bed, down the hall and into the bathroom. He yawned, he yanked, splashed some water, swished some mouthwash, gave his front teeth a passful brushing. And then, in a gungless corner of the soapy silver soap dish, in a fogless smidgen of his father's foggy shaving mirror, right there on the hot water faucet, for heaven's sake, he saw it. It was big. It was bad. It was Bedhead. Oliver's hair was out of control, way out of control. There was hair going this way, hair going that way, hair going up, down, around and around. And there was one teeny tiny clump of hair way at the back of his head that looked just like a cat's coughed up fur ball. Ah! Oliver's scream shook. It rattled, it rolled all the way down the stairs and into the kitchen where Fruit Loops went flying, was spilled, spit, and sputtered, and two toasties did triple backflips onto the breakfast table. Oliver, 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 shouted Mom, Dad, and Emily as they ran up the stairs and headed for the bathroom door. Mom leaned close to the door, closer, closer, that's right, even closer. Is everything all right, Oliver? She whispered in her calmest calm Mom voice. Come now, dear, open the door and let us in. No sound from Oliver, not a whimper, not a peep. Please, said Mom. Pretty please? Pretty, pretty, pretty please? The doorknob slowly turned. Mom smiled at Dad. She gave a wink to Emily. There you go, she said, taking a step into the bathroom. Nothing can be that bad. Wrong. It was that bad. Yes, sir, no doubt about it, said Dad, surveying the hair situation from sink side. Oliver, my boy, you're having one bad hair day. Major, said Mom. Totally, agreed Emily. Maybe if we just pushed it this way, Mom said, giving it a try. Boing. Been there, done that, moaned Oliver. Perhaps if we just pull it that way, said Dad. Boing. Been there, done that, groaned Oliver. I could curl it, offered Emily, ready to roll. Oliver stared a steely stare at his sister. I don't think so. Oh, then we'll just wet it, said Mom. Yes, let's just wet it, they all agreed. So they watered Oliver. They splished him and splashed him, gave him a good soak and dunk. Ah, they said, sighing a confident job well done sigh. Oliver's bedhead was now one dripping wet head, and then it dried. Boing, boing, bing, bing, boing. Ah! Hair started going this way, hair started going that way, then up, down, around, and around, and there was now a bigger clump of hair way at the back of his head that looked just like a cat's coughed up fur ball. I say we spray, shouted Dad, taking aim with a squirt. Yes, spray, spray, cried out Mom and Emily. So spray already, sputtered Oliver. So they spritzed him and sprayed him, and they gooped, glopped, and moosed him. They even hairpinned him flat in 5 places for good measure. Ah, they said, sighing a confident job well done sigh. Oliver's bedhead was now one slick gel head, and then pins went flying. Boing, boing, bang, bang, boing. Hair started going this way, hair started going that way, then up, down, around, and around, and there was now an even bigger clump of hair way at the back of his head that looked just like a cat's coughed up fur ball. Oliver wondered, maybe if I just sort of, brushed it a bit? No, no, the 3 shouted, seeing the boy with bristles poised. Whatever you do, no brush. Too late. Oh, yes, the brush got stuck. Not stuck in the hair going this way or that, not stuck in the hair going up and down, not even stuck in the hair going around and around, but stuck, yes, very, very, very stuck in the clump way at the back of his head that looked just like a cat's coughed up fur ball. Mom gave it a yank. Ooh! Dad gave it a pull. Ooh, ouch! And Emily gave it one good long tug. Yike! Well, said Mom without a bit of a doubt, that brush is stuck all right. Definitely stuck, decided Dad. A done deal, declared Emily. Then, just when they all were about to give up hope, Oliver saw the answer right there on the wall. That's it, he pointed. The hat! The hat! Go get that hat! So without one more thought of a spritz, spray, or dunk, they all helped Oliver squish, smoosh, and cram every bit of bedhead, stuck, brush, and all into his faithful old, battered, but true blue baseball cap. Well, almost, good enough. And with a kiss and a wave, Oliver headed off to school. Everything was fine. Everything was dandy. And then Mary Margaret, who sat in the 3rd row, 4 seats down, 1 desk across from Oliver, in Mrs. Oppenheimer's class at Biddlemere Elementary, looked over to him and said, "You can't wear that hat." Oliver looked over to Mary Margaret. "Can't too." "Cannot." "And just why not?" demanded Oliver, holding tightly onto his hat. Mary Margaret grinned. "Because it's picture day?" Picture day?" stuttered Oliver. "Picture day," sang out Mrs. Oppenheimer, standing in front of the class. Everyone line up for our class picture. Back straight, faces front, smiles wide, and hats off. Uh-oh, said Oliver. Hats off? We're waiting, Oliver, said Mrs. Oppenheimer as everyone took their places. We're waiting, Oliver, said Mary Margaret. We're waiting, Oliver, said everyone else. Hey, kid, said the man behind the camera. Yeah, you with the lumpy-looking head. Off with that hat, Oliver hemmed. He yawned, but he knew he had it. He lifted the brim and slowly took off his faithful, old, battered, but true blue baseball cap. He held his breath, he closed his eyes, and he waited. He waited some more. Nothing. Zero. Zilch. Nada. He opened his eyes and looked up. There was no hair going this way, no hair going that way, no hair going up, down, not even around and around, and nobody could see the brush stuck in the clump of hair way at the back of his head that looked like a cat's coughed-up fur ball. Ah, said Oliver, sighing a confident job-well-done sigh. Ready, everyone? Sang out Mrs. O. Big smiles and say cheese on the count of 3. 1, she said. 2, she said. And then, buh, boing, boing, bing, bing, boing, 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 boing. Hair started going this way, hair started going that way, hair started going up, down, around, and around, and the brush that was stuck in the clump of hair way at the back of his head that looked just like a cat's coughed-up fur ball let loose and boinged Mary Margaret on top of her head and boomeranged right into Mrs. Oppenheimer's nose. 3, said the boing Mrs. O, just as she and everyone else at Biddlemeyer Elementary got a look at Oliver and his bedhead. Ah, geez. Click. Got it, said the photographer. The end.
So now that we've heard this story, we are going to discuss as a class what made the story funny and where we think the author might have gotten the idea for this story, so you can think about your responses to these questions on your own. One thing I want you to notice is that our author took an experience from their own life, or her family's life, which was having messy hair, and exaggerated it to make it funny. So on our list of story ideas, I added stories based on real life. So you can add that to your notebook too if you would like. And I want you to think, what experiences from your own life could you write about? And how might you exaggerate those experiences to make them funny? For example, maybe you could write about missing the entire school year. Or maybe you could write about brushing your teeth so hard that they disappear. Or that you drank so much soda that it comes out of your ears. So now we're going to do something called a quick write. A quick write is a 5-minute writing exercise that we do together to give everyone a chance to practice a particular writing skill and to get their creative juices flowing. So the quick write I want you to do today is to write about an experience from your own life. If you wish, you can exaggerate it in some way to make it funny. After you finish the 5-minute quick write, I want you to open up to the writing ideas section of your language arts notebook, or if you have this on Google Drive, you could go there too. And I want you to make a list of stories based on real life that you could use for your own writing ideas in the future.